Let's talk about the 6 parts of the Goal Gratitude Octagon called My Step of Faith and the lessons which I learned. Now, sometimes taking a step of faith can seem to be very daunting and very worrying, because you're literally stepping into the unknown. You're walking on the water. You're doing something which seems impossible. It's like when Jesus walked on the water and his disciple Simon Peter said, "Master, if it's you, beckon me to come and walk on the water." And as the story goes, Peter stepped out and walked on the water. But then he looked down and he began to sink. It's like fear took a hold of him. Fortunately, Jesus grabbed him, I assume, before he sunk. But it shows you that faith is so important, and unwavering faith. And I experienced that when I was in a lot of debt and I just couldn't get out of that debt. So in the next slide, I'm going to explain exactly how I took the leap of faith and changed my whole situation. So let's talk about jumping out of the plane. Well, let's go back a few years. Around 2008, I had experienced a stroke which paralyzed my right hand side, and I made rapid recovery. However, I ended up in a lot of debt because my business wasn't making money, because the fact that I was the main cog in the business and I wasn't working. So I had accumulated a lot of debt and things were not looking good. I was in a bad place and things just didn't seem to be improving. However, I came across a course by a gentleman named Jay Abraham, the master of passive income. And I thought maybe this could be an opportunity. But I didn't have the money to pay for the course. It was a few thousands of pounds. I think it was £2,500. I just didn't have it. But the opportunity seemed so good. So I went into the details, typed up the details on the course on my computer and sent it off. Now, I'd signed up for something I could not afford. I was already in debt. And I thought, I'm going to cancel this because I can't afford this. So I typed an email and sent a cancellation. Now I'm cancelling the course. That night I had the worst feeling in the pit of my stomach, as though I've just thrown away a really great opportunity. And I just couldn't feel right. I went and looked at the advert again and I said, you know what, I'm going to have to try and get back on this course. So I typed up an email. At that time, a lot of email was the main way to communicate, and said that I had sent the cancellation in error, and they let me back on the course. But the interesting thing, even though I thought I couldn't pay for it, I was able to negotiate and to get a payment plan and attend the course. However, the course was a challenge because I didn't have much money, because I was in debt and I was still recovering from my illness, so I wasn't able to do all the homework required. The course was basically a phone call every month, plus we'd get work to do. It was a conference call. I learned some things, but some of the later calls, I missed some of them because I was struggling to get my feet back on the ground. But I learned some things. And the things that I did learn were useful. However, I didn't completely get out of debt. And I still had this mountain debt on the top of me. And what happened next, a few years later, was I came across another program. I was on a series of conference calls with another mentor, Jack. And he had this program, which was, I think it was valued at 1,333. And from the sounds of it, it sounded like a great opportunity which could actually help me to get out of the debt that I was in. And I thought, you never know, let me give this a try. And I did just that. But the challenge was I didn't have money to pay for this course. I went to my bank. My bank said, you already owe us money, so we can't lend you anything. I tried other avenues and turned down over and over again. And it was looking as though this can't be the right opportunity for me because all the doors are closing in my face. But I kept on pushing ahead. I decided I had to make this happen. And by chance, I came across something called PayPal Credit, which was seemed something new. But I didn't know if they allowed payments of this kind. So I checked it out and it seemed as though it would be possible. But the thing which I found a struggle was I already owed so much. And the PayPal Credit, I'm going to have to be paying out over 1,333, something like that. And the key is that I'd have to pay interest. And if I didn't make those payments, this interest charge would be quite astronomical. But then I looked at the terms and conditions and it said, you've got 4 months interest-free credit. So for 4 months, I wouldn't have to pay anything. And I thought, a sigh of relief. I said, maybe this might be possible. So I checked the terms and conditions, made sure. And I thought, yeah, this is possible. And I made the payment. It's like I took a leap out of the plane. That's how it felt, like I was leaping out of a plane into the without a parachute. But I took the action. And the interesting thing, the course didn't actually fulfill what I'd expected, and I didn't really make the money which I was hoping to make. But you know what? Something else happened. 2 things. Firstly, I was able to pay back the £1,333 within 4 months. But the other thing, I learned a new way of doing things. I learned to be able to take action, to jump by faith, to take the leap of faith. And now that ability to take the leap of faith was something which helped me to do other things. I developed a goal gratitude journal. And through the goal gratitude journal that I developed, I was able to, after 60 days of journaling, completely eradicate a massive debt that I had hanging over me from way back. And my life was literally changed. And that's because I had taken a leap of faith. At the time, it seemed daunting. At the time, I signed up for courses which didn't actually bring me the real result. But the great thing, I had now learned how to take the leap of faith, and that changed my life. So, is it possible to make a change in your life by taking a leap of faith? Well, I found out it's possible. But it was challenging. It wasn't easy. And I had to be steadfast. I had to have faith. I had to take action. I had to make sure that the risk I was taking, that it was a viable risk. But I jumped out the plane and I was able to land somehow safely. In the next section, we're going to look further at the leap of faith and other things which can help you in taking that leap of faith.